Jason, tell me who is up for grabs.
It's up for grabs.
In a 2017,
but Giannis, MVP. The MVP is, and Giannis thinks that he's going to win it. Now again, what do you want these guys to say? I don't think I'm going to win the MVP.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the best player in the league. So I wanted to go back to last year's MVP odds from OddsShark. This was as of November like 18th, 2016. And these were the odds because it's a good way to base maybe what would happen this year. And everything's gonna change, and I put it on Twitter, which was a bad idea because you put things on Twitter, it's a subjective list of who I think in order has the best shot at winning MVP, and no matter what, there's no correct answer. It's worse than getting into political debates. Like most people just go, are you kidding?
Yeah, it's like
where's your argument? I need an argument. I need something to base this off of. So first we'll go to the C number 5, which was last year's. And what's interesting is Westbrook was the favorite, then Harden, Leonard, LeBron, Steph Curry, Durant. Those top 6 for the most part aren't really changing, just the order might be. And then I bumped up some other guys like Giannis and Karl Anthony Towns just based, and Blake Griffin. Now that Chris Paul is not there, Blake Griffin's numbers are gonna go up, probably. He's gonna be more responsible if the Clippers are successful for their success. So that's gonna give him, let's say this Clippers experiment with all the guards they just swapped for Chris Paul and their signings, and if Gallinari's hand, by the way, most Clippers thing ever. The Clippers and the Mets are the same organization, I swear to God. They signed Danilo Gallinari, who's the player they needed 3 years ago, a guy who can create his own shot, a guy that could score off the wing, a guy they've needed for like 3 years. And he plays an international game and he gets into a fight and breaks his hand. Like over the summer. It's not that bad. It's like a broken thumb. He'll be back before the season starts for sure. But it's very Clippers. It's very Clippers.
He's also not punching right.
Yeah, well that's the thing is people do this.
That's so silly.
That's like the dumbest thing you could do because you'll break your thumb.
It's insane. But this is one of the top 5 never-ending arguments that you can never win. Never-ending conversation, sorry, that just doesn't have a right answer. LeBron and MJ, regardless, yeah, everyone believes, and most people are right, that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. But there's no way that you can like firmly convince someone that LeBron James isn't or that Kobe Bryant isn't, because it's just open to interpretation, and these conversations don't have any substance behind them other than, well, what about the rings? And even if LeBron James does get the same amount of rings, then they'll start to break down the differences on how they got those rings and who helped them, and he had to move and blah, blah, blah. We could go on forever. But as it comes to the MVP, we know that more often than not, the best player is not giving the MVP award, because LeBron James could have probably won it, the last 8 years running or whatever it is?
At least.
And that's just my opinion, but
award.
I'm not right. See, I'm admitting, Jason, that I'm not always right.
No, I think you're right.
But I think it is a valid point, but that doesn't mean that Russell Westbrook didn't deserve to win it last year, or that Kevin Durant can probably win it next year. So it's just I like to at least talk about this with the new aspiring talent that we've already seen hit the forefront that is going to move to new lengths and new heights, like Giannis Antetokounmpo. We feel like every year this guy is growing an extra 4 inches in width with his wingspan. So at certain points of the game, he is going to be able to dunk on both ends of the court at the same time. But
it's gonna be like an octopus, like inking into the hoops.
There's someone like Joel Embiid would probably say I can win the MVP next year as well, because he's that confident.
Joel Embiid already won the MVP. Joel Embiid is the most valuable person on the planet. It's not even player, he's just person. Just
very much so, very much true.
I'm gonna show you my list, and I think I'm gonna get hated, which I don't really care too much.
Is it in order?
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people said just swap Curry and Durant because Durant is the #1 guy on the Warriors. Curry kind of, took a back seat to him. I just know that Durant and Curry together as a duo are gonna get better next year. They're not gonna regress, and if Durant, I think the only thing against Durant is he's gotta stay healthy. He can't play 60 games and win the MVP.
Yeah.
Curry has shown, at least in his more recent seasons, has been able to consistently play 72, 74, 75 games a season. If Durant stays healthy all season long, sure, swap Durant and Curry. I think they're almost interchangeable, but I don't want to put them as 1 and 2. Because I think Harden and Westbrook are also going to put up similar numbers to what they did. The Thunder just got better. So that argument of, well, you got to be a top 3 seed. No, you don't. Obviously you don't. Westbrook just won as a 6th seed.
Let's just give him Jason Rubin credit.
I mean, well, I said he could be like, they could be the 15th seed and not win a game if they average
that was the extreme point where we let you go on and we said, Jason, that's a valid point, and then you slowly went down the rabbit hole. Like, they could have lost every single game, and as long as he averaged a triple-double, they would have won it.
Which 0-82, triple-double. But what if he comes out next year, averages, like what if last year was what, 30-10-10 roughly? What if it's like 36-12-20? I know that's not happening. I joke. Jeez, calm down. I already know the comment section yelling at me. But why Steph Curry? So last year, Steph Curry averaged about 25 points per game. So if you want to do the points per game debate, but his efficiency dropped off because he was adjusting to having Kevin Durant there. Obviously, it worked out. They won the finals. They also swept the Western Conference, which I think people are forgetting. While the West has gotten better and better, and all these players come over to the West. And yes, the Golden State Warriors will have some issues with a healthy Spurs team or if they run into a Rockets team now with Chris Paul or the Timberwolves. They still swept the Western Conference last year. As competitive as you think it might be for the #2 spot, the Warriors own the #1 spot for the foreseeable, unfortunate future. So Curry's gonna get better, right? Curry hit 400 3-pointers in his second MVP season, and he shot over 50% from the field and over 45% from three. My what if scenario is that Kevin Durant and Curry have figured it out. What if Steph Curry hits 50% from three? What if he has the volume of shots that we haven't seen ever before, and he does make 400 of 800 3-pointers? When he did hit his 400, it was like 402 of 9 something. So he's got to get more efficient, but it's not like the pressure's still all on him to make those shots. You have Kevin Durant to take away the gravity. I think that they've figured it out, and if he were to shoot that efficiently, 50% from the field and 50% from three, nails 400 3-pointers as puts him in, again, the entire like top 4 or 5 for made 3-pointers in a season is Steph Curry. I think maybe Klay Thompson's on there. But obviously going forward, it's pretty much always gonna be Steph Curry, and he has the points, he can average the assists and the rebounds that justify an MVP. Why not Curry?
James Harden.
Well, right, that's a
that's my counter argument. Simply because to allow me to profess my argument why I think he would is he was already very close this year with a team that definitely surpassed expectations, and he took them to new lengths. They've got a phenomenal coach who loves to play aggressive attacking basketball that's going to allow for James Harden to get better. And oh yeah, what happened again? Oh yeah, they got that guy Chris Paul who was able to.
They signed Chris Paul?
Yes, very much.
They traded for Chris Paul?
He was able to take many players' careers to new heights, such as DeAndre Jordan. Now James Harden is obviously a different player to DeAndre Jordan, but James Harden will thrive. I think when he moved into the point guard position, yes, James Harden was able to make that his own because he is a very good, versatile basketball player, and he is able to make shots for himself from anywhere on the court. But I think that he's maturing, he's getting older, and he understands that this team collectively has a shot when they bind well together. So I think that maturity is gonna move into next year when you have a veteran point guard who is pass first, who's gonna look for you to be he's gonna be the catalyst, he's gonna look for you to continually finish. And the points, in my opinion, will be astounding. I think he will average career highs next season, all barring injuries.
That's the other thing too. If he does get to like a Kobe Bryant MVP level-esque amount of scoring, and he's like averages 35.5 points per game, which by the way, it's been a while since anybody's hit that mark. One of your favorite players was close to that mark in his scoring title years. Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady.
Won 2 scoring titles. I think that's a fantastic argument. Also, he was really close to winning MVP this year.
Yeah.
So maybe
Tracy McGrady, man, from the distance.
From distance, but I'm saying with Harden, like there might be. Look, a lot of people believe in this. Look, I don't know if it's true or not. They believe Westbrook got MVP in part because of sympathy votes.
Yeah.
Also, I hope they've realized that they should not wait till after the NBA Finals to give the regular season MVP award. Here's an idea, do it the day after the season ends.
Because people will somehow in their mind still like facilitate arguments for
Harden versus Westbrook in the playoffs.
Iguodala, who had a phenomenal MVP, he had a phenomenal season in the playoffs, and he's like, oh my God, give it to him, you just carried them. And I'm like, yeah, you need to designate the winner a little bit sooner so that they're not waiting till the very end. But I think it's a way just to continue the conversation after the season is done. Like, all right, let's
what else do we have to do? What else do we have to do with our lives?
Golf trips, right? Anyway.
Well, he's crashing house parties. That makes news. That's news. I just want to also show the rest of that list because There's no room for Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. Like, I'm just picking one, Karl-Anthony Towns or Jimmy Butler. Like, you guys get the point. Don't sleep on John Wall. What if the Wizards are the 1 seed? What if John Wall has his best, this is the peak of John Wall?
You know everyone's gonna be not sleeping on John Wall. Everyone's gonna be asking you, why have you got Blake Griffin on your list when the idea you need to keep him fit?
Again, you have to keep him fit. Also, Kevin Durant's on the list. Anybody can get injured. Anthony Davis hasn't been fit in ever, ever. We don't. It's because he grows. He continues to grow. We don't know what to do with him. By the way, like there's also some like super big sleepers that I wouldn't bet on because there's too many guys like Harden, Westbrook, Curry, Durant at the top. Kawhi and LeBron. Don't sleep on Kawhi Leonard. But like Nikola Jokic, Kyle Lowry. Sure, we can go with that one. Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
What about those guys? Well, Denver's got to really surprise if they're gonna do that. Kyrie Irving, if he goes to the Suns. Nope.
I just don't get that move.
I just said the Blake reason. The Blake reason is he's finished in top 10 NBA MVP voting before, and without Chris Paul there, it's his team. Comment below, like, favorite to the Pluto, and subscribe to the TYT Sports. You can check out the rest of the TYT network on Pluto TV. There's good stuff. Pop Trigger, What the Flick, The Young Turks.
I think we're the only one that promotes the other channels on Pluto.
Yes, we do our part. We do our due diligence. We are good people. Karma. Watch them and then come and watch us.